Welcome to Focus on Design, a monthly feature in Flowers and Magazine. I'm Rich Salvaggio, AIFD, and today I'm very excited to share some ideas with you. During this video, we're going to share some tips and tricks to allow you to really learn about G3 recycled glassware. This video is being sponsored by G3 Glass, represented by the Pete Garcia Company, available at Floramart and your local floral wholesaler. The first vase we're going to look at is called the Vase, V-A-Z. And this is a Garcia group answer to a dozen roses to 2 dozen roses. Except you work so hard when you make a design, they work hard at making the vase that holds that design. They're handmade, just like our flowers. So this is just a simple design with some iris in it. And now for a bit of excitement, we're going to look at the higher end arrangement. And in here, all we've done is we've added more iris, but in addition to that, here we had the rising from the greenery to the baby's breath to the iris. Here we have some extra hydrangea, and then we have a blue hydrangea. So it gives us a much fuller volume to look at, and it's obviously a step above the arrangement in the first vase. The second vase in our Garcia G3 line that we're going to look at today is the 7 3/4 inch Rio Cache. It's a wonderfully bubbled out bowl, and as you can see, what we've done in this one is we used another vase inside of it, and then the lemons are just in water, so all that acidity does not get to the flowers. The flowers are just in pure water. And so we have sort of an alstroemeria tree, and then just some, obviously the lemons, bringing in the yellow from the center of the alstro, and then these beautiful hypericum berries in green. When we look at how we can add the ooh-ah to that arrangement, you'll see, again, we have a cloud of alstroemeria floating above the Rio Cache bowl. And then, just for a little bit of more excitement, we still have the green hypericum, then we have a little bit of fern, and then Crispidia rising up above, so we then bring attention back to the yellow on the bottom, to the yellow on the top. Our third vase is the Grecian urn, and this is a 10-inch high vase. This is great for a dozen or a dozen and a half roses, or even 2 dozen roses. Again, hand blown. It's very weighty. It really is substantial, really is solid. So in this design, we just did 5 or 6 tulips, and then a little bit of bells of Ireland, and then a collar of roses around the bottom, and then a few calla lilies coming on an angle through the design. The second iteration on this design is just a little bit taller and a little bit stronger. We've got our circle of roses around the bottom, bring up the tulips, but not so high, and then we do a layer of roses on the top, and then we do the bells of Ireland in the back, sort of to give you a backdrop for all the beautiful color. And a few calla lilies, 2 hanging down, and then a few more clustered together. Our larger size Rio Cache, again, hand-blown, handmade, so beautifully, but truly elegant glassware, and it's all recycled. And this is now our, again, about 10 tulips, a few mini callas, a little bit of ivy, and a very simple treatment of putting petals inside the vase and then making the arrangement. Now for our high-end design in a large Rio Cache bowl, we have taken same tulips up and top, we've added a few more callas, taken some pink Midolino and circled it and just tied it together with a little bit of a wire, and then fed more callas through it and some ivy through it. So it certainly makes it a much higher end design, and that started with virtually the same design as the smaller one. Now this container today is the container Grecian urn, and this is the container that we're going to be working in and make the upgraded version as our how-to. So very simply, some rocks in the bottom on an angle filled in, and then we put the two birds of paradise, we put the green amaranthus, and then a green hydrangea, and behind it we just have freely sitting peach roses front and back. Now I'm going to show you how easy it is to create the arrangement that is the counterpart to this one. First thing you're going to start with are the rocks, and you're going to just take them and place them in the bottom of the vase. You're going to try to keep them so they're more off to one side. That's probably enough. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add 3 stems of birds of paradise. And we're going to make each stem a little bit taller. And once you have the 3 of them in, then you're going to just take and add a little bit more rock. And then once that's settled, now we're going to add our water and preservative. Our second step will be to add a row of roses around the outside. And this is so simple, it's just going to sit right on the lip of the vase. We're just going to follow the rim all the way around in the front. Keep going. We're going to take and we're going to add our amaranthus, starting with the longest one first, and then one that's a little bit shorter. And they'll just go into the background of the design, and then you're just going to continue with roses until your circle is complete. Our final step is to add a lovely green hydrangea, light green hydrangea in the center of the design. And then we're going to use our roses. I see a little space here, so we're going to fill that in with a rose. And then just for something a little bit different, we're going to use the hydrangea as our mechanic to hold the center 2 roses in. Now that looks pretty much just like our original design looked. But what we're going to do is I'm going to take flax leaves and I'm going to slide them into the vase, and then I'm going to bend them and take a second one, and with my knife and my finger I'm going to make a little slit in the taller leaf, and I'm going to feed the bent stem through it, and that certainly makes our arrangement really go to the higher end. Thanks for joining us. You can find more free step-by-step how-to videos on our website. Just go to flowersandmagazine.com and click on the digital library link at the top of the page. We look forward to having you visit.